Hi guys, today we're looking at something a little bit different. This is the powder primer from Fyrrinae. Not sure how to pronounce it. So I don't think this is a new product, it's just new to me. So I was browsing through their website and I bought a few things. I did try and stick to sample sizes for most stuff just because I've been spending a lot lately and yeah. So I decided I would do the whole sample size route, see what I like formula wise and things, and then take it from there. So the full size for this is $7 and the sample size is $1.50. So what it says about it is, our primer gives your skin a silky soft feel and is perfect under foundation, powder or liquid, or alone for a line and pore minimising look. This primer is designed to gently absorb any excess oil without drying the skin, as well as prime your skin for a more even, lasting application of mineral foundation. Also works under traditional foundation. Contains a large percentage of silica to soften the appearance of lines and pores. Regular size is approximately 12 grams net weight and is packaged in a 30ml jar with sifter, whereas the sample is just one of these wee titch jars with no sifters. So to apply, simply brush on a small amount after moisturising using a powder brush, puff or flocked sponge. So that's what we've got, that's what we're playing with, and let's see how the application went. Okay, so we're going to prime half my face with the Revolution Niacinamide Primer Drops, just because that's what I've been reaching for lately, and the other half with the powder primer from Fyrrinae. I've only got a sample of this, so this is not going to be the most impressive thumbnail when I'm sitting like this, but I'll try and find something better to do with the thumbnail. So I've done my normal skincare, let that sink in. I'm going to do the Revolution on the right side of my face, because if you've been reading my channel for a while, you know I've got a slight obsession with, oh, it begins with R, it can go on the right side of my face. Ooh, I need to plug my eyebrows. I'll stop looking at it and it will not have happened. So yeah, we're going to do half my face with this, half with the priming powder, and then we're going to see how the foundation application goes, and then we're going to do a wear test as well. So, I still love that primer, it just feels nice going on, and like I've said, I think in the video for this, I love niacinamide. I'm getting a like addiction to it. My pure stuff's nearly out. So I've got a pretty much clean powder brush. I think I used this for like blending out blusher the other day, but it's not got any actual powder on it, unlike my normal powder brush. So what I'm going to do is try and get this little guy open. Obviously this would be easier with the full size product, right? But I'm just going to tap a little bit out into the lid, and we're going to swirl it into the brush. Well, we're going to tap it into the brush initially because it's a teeny tiny little jar. I wasn't sure how my skin was going to react to this, and I was spending way too much money, so I did restrict myself to samples. I bought a full size of their like glitter primer and one of their lip products, and then I bought a load of samples, and then we'll see what I go back for. So this does just feel like, this just feels like powder. I think they said on the website it was quite silica based. So I don't know if I was almost expecting it to still somehow get that weird rubbery silicone feeling, but no, it just feels like dry powder. They did say you can use this on its own for like diffusing, and I can kind of see that. So let's put this away before I knock it over, because that's what I tend to do with loose powders. So where'd my foundation brush hide? It's behind my foundation bottle. That would make sense. So we're just using the dose of colours today, and I really need to stop squishing this out on my hand, because I always forget about it and leave it there, and then it like sets like crazy. So let's see how this goes. This feels so wrong because you're always taught powder goes after liquids. It would be interesting if this does kind of work. I would be interested in trying it again with it versus another powder. So I know some people have done videos and things, but you know, if you put a bit of powder before your foundation, it'll really help it last and things. So, you know, it'd be nice to see how just a general powder performs against one that's apparently specifically formulated as a primer. So that's going on fine. Nothing weird happening. So breaking the rule of powder then cream, or cream then powder, doesn't seem to have gone too drastically. I like the finish. I might have to take a bit more foundation because I went quite heavy today. I don't know why I do random sound effects when I'm squeezing bottles. See, I have to get up early to do these videos before work, and then I haven't had a lot of sleep, and then I go funny and make noises and things. So, so far, so good. I mean, not really noticing much of a difference. Maybe we're a bit smoother on the primer drop side. Yeah, maybe we'll get slightly more texture. Okay, well I'm going to go and finish my concealer and set it and do all the rest of my makeup. I'll come back with a kind of finished face check-in, but for the moment it is just before 20 to 8 and I will be back with the finished face in just a second. Okay, so this is the finished look. It is just before 8 o'clock now. So brows, eyelash, mascara. I didn't wear lashes, I don't know why I'm calling them eyelashes. Brows, mascara, liner, all that jazz is done. And yeah, so this is what it looks all set and concealed and everything. The texture now looks the same on both sides. The coverage looks the same as well. There's a tiny little line in my nose, but honestly I think that's me not blending concealer correctly, because like across here and across here it looks identical coverage. So now all we've got to do is sit and wait and see what we get in terms of oil breakthrough, whether there's any difference in the lasting power, how the coverage lasts. And yeah, I'm excited to see what will happen because I like testing unusual stuff, which you might have realised by now. So I will see you guys in just a little bit. Right, so it's actually the first check-in of the day. It is 5:05. This is doing really well. I don't think it's doing particularly different to the Revolution side. I'll zoom you in. It's maybe a tiny bit less oily. So this is the powder primer side and this is the Revolution side. In fact, now that I've zoomed in it looks the other way around. So that one's potentially a tiny bit more oily. But really there's not much in it, and the coverage has stayed equally well on both sides as well. So I am going to just, you know, powder a little bit to get back to matte, and then we will continue our wear test because the coverage might still change between now and bedtime. So just matting everything back down. And I'm using the RCMA powder just because that's my current go-to love of matteness. and I know how it reacts. So I did buy a sample of the oil control powder from Fyrrinae, but I prefer testing kind of one thing at a time when I can, just so that if there is any changes or differences or problems, I know exactly which product is different. So yeah, I will be back. We will see how this continues to hold up. Still loving the lip gloss. Maybe not the most moisturising formula, but not drying either. I just don't feel like it added anything, if that makes sense. But for colour, love it. So I'll be back. Right, so final check-in before my camera and my phone die. My phone's at 9%, so it is 10 to 11. I've had my foundation on all day. I think the coverage looks pretty darn good on both sides. Again, the oil breaking through is looking pretty even for both sides. I've got a wee flaky bit of skin, which annoys me. Tiny bit of creasing under my chin. I don't actually think I primed under my chin though, so just pretend I didn't say that. Let's zoom in and have a look at the texture, just because that was one difference that I'd noticed kind of earlier on. Still kind of looks the same, so it looks like that difference in texture is only noticeable before you go in and like set your foundation and things. So I don't really know where I'm sitting on this just now. I do want to have another day trying it just against the RCMA powder underneath my foundation, just to see how that works out. But at the moment it doesn't seem any different to my liquid primer, so it's maybe down to personal preference. Potentially there's going to be less preservatives and things in a powder because it is powder. If you were flying, it's obviously not going to count for any of your liquid allowance. But at the same time, with a liquid primer you can get added skincare benefits because they sink into the skin. So, you know, there's pros and cons on both sides, but the performance isn't going to put me off either of them. That being said, like I said, I want to try it with just a normal powder, because, you know, if this gave me the same effect, then that would be one thing that I'm packing instead of two. And I really like that whole, you know, packing one thing instead of two, saving on space stuff. It's helpful. So I will be back and we will see. Right, so we're back to try just a normal powder versus the priming powder. I didn't find time to do this video, well, to do this section last week, which is why this video is up a bit later. I meant to get this up on Friday, but I slept in and didn't have time to film before work any day, so yeah. So RCMA on its normal brush. Just gonna dust this all over. I hope this turns out okay because I'm actually allowed out again. My area get moved up to tier 3 and I'm going out for lunch with a friend today, so I'm hoping this doesn't completely screw up my foundation, because, you know, meant to be creams or liquids and then powder, not the other way around. So yeah. And the primer powder. It's so weird because it feels like there's nothing on your skin, and that to me just feels like it's not going to do anything. So there is definitely more of a silicone-y feel to the primer powder side because it does contain a lot of silica. So there is every chance that this will behave differently. So I'm just gonna get some of my foundation, zoom in, and let's keep our fingers crossed. Pray for me. No, it's not that drastic. If it goes wrong, it goes wrong. And we know that we're right to buy a primer powder. So, seems fine actually. I don't know what I imagined might happen, like if the powder, like with such a light amount of powder, it's not like it's gonna like ball up or anything like that with the moisture from the foundation. It's just ingrained in my head that you don't do that, you know? So, try. Oh, I've put too much in my hairline. Hate when I do that. I really, really wanted to be putting on my niacinamide primer just because I love it. I love niacinamide. I just want to layer it on my face and cake it on. So not reaching for it this morning was like, but I'm dedicated. Hopefully I'll get some more videos filmed this week, because I did catch up on sleep a bit this weekend, so hopefully you'll be fine. I mean, I don't really see much difference between the two. This almost looks a bit more reflective-y. Like, so yeah, it did say that this would diffuse a bit, wouldn't it? Diffuse wrinkles. So maybe, Okay, I'm going to go and finish up the rest of my makeup and we'll come back and do a timestamp and all that jazz, and then we will see that. For those that want the time from now, it's 12:30. I'm late, I know. So I'll be back in a second with my finished makeup. Right, so I'm pretty much finished my makeup. It is 10 to 1. I need to move. So finished up my face makeup. I still need to put mascara on. It's downstairs for some reason. So yeah, now that everything's finished, the two sides look pretty similar. I still feel like we're getting a little bit more kind of like reflection, light diffusion on this side compared to this side, which is cool to know. So yeah, we will just see how the oil control works on each side and we'll take it from there. Okay, so I'm back for a check-in. Didn't really have much to say. It is 10 to 11, so this is the only check-in. Looking at them from a distance, I don't really see too much of a difference between the two sides. This being the RCMA, this being the Fyrrinae primer powder. Tiny bit more oil control on this side actually, which is good considering that this is the one that's designed for priming. So there you go, it does actually do something different, as well as the more kind of illuminating effect that I felt like I got from it, like a light reflective property. So yeah, zooming right in, you can see we've not really lost any coverage on either side. My nose maybe looks a tiny bit smoother on the Fyrrinae side actually. So the foundation's kind of bunched up a bit more on the ordinary powder side. So, excuse the lipstick, it's a mess. I was wearing it for lunch and I was wearing a mask at other times, so... But I need to go to bed, so I'm not fixing it. So yeah, I'm actually pleasantly surprised by this. I think, just from personal preference, I'll probably still reach for my normal primer, the niacinamide drop one, because I love that ingredient and I want it. I just want to smother my skin in it. But actually this is really, really good. So if you've been looking at this, if you've been curious about it, if for whatever reason you don't want to use any of the kind of liquidy primers, this is definitely an option. It definitely is something different from, you know, just a plain powder as we've seen today. If you're looking for something that's quite reflective with light, then this was great. I don't know how that would work with flash photography though. Let's test it on camera. So, flash on. Okay. So this is going to be an awful picture of me because it's, oh man, that's so confusing. I hope that worked. It didn't. Oh my god. This is so awkward. How was I not sure if it worked? It's a flash picture. Oh god. Okay. Oh, my room's an absolute tip behind me, so I'll just zoom in so that all we can see is my greasy ass face, because it looks way worse in a flash picture. Yeah, it's not really doing any different light reflecting with a flash. So there you go. Still works with flash photography while still giving a nice illumination effect. So yeah, all in all, I would say this is a good product. So yeah, it's in the goodbye category. If you've got any questions that we haven't addressed, leave them down below and I will get back to you. And I will hopefully see you guys soon. Bye.